All right, so your teammate Impact now has officially played the most games in the LCS. So how does having veterans like Impact and CoreJJ impact your development from last summer to now?
Fuck, he's such an old man. No, they're definitely such insane resources to just to, like have on my team. Like after like any scrim game, I'm sure after these games when we get back, I'm gonna like go up and talk to them about like, hey, what happened here? What happened here? Honestly, probably not this serious because they're kind of ass, but um, yeah. But like for more competitive opponents, they're definitely great resources to have.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, in the past you've been known for control mages such as Aesol, Ori, but recently we've had a ton of success on the marksman, especially Tristana in specific. And I mean, I guess she is slash was broken, but how hard was it to pick up these champions that haven't been meta in the mid lane for a while?
Well, I've always kind of played Tristana, and then before when I was an amateur, when I was a fucking noob in like 2020 or something,
Hmm.
I did play Lucian mid. It just like wasn't meta for like 3 years, so of course I
Yeah.
didn't play it. So it wasn't like the most difficult to pick them up when they started to become meta again. It was just like you don't forget how to ride a bike, something like
Yeah.
that. And then like Corky was only like ADC one that I had to pick up, and I mean, he just took like just put 50, 100 some games of solo queue on him, and you're set.
So would you say like a lot of the skills that you had on Lucian Tristana in 2020, they're still pretty much the same in terms of like how to play the champion, how the champion operates and stuff?
The champion master, yes. I play them differently because I'm just a
Items.
significantly better player and the items different, all that type of stuff. But
Mhm.
like the champion master itself is like was already there. Just had to polish it off a little bit.
So when it comes to like these champions, specifically Lucian that can be flexed mid or bot, do you play it with the kind of I guess thought process that it could potentially be flexed, or are you just like playing because it's strong? Like, do you plan on using it as like a draft resource in the future?
Both. I think Yon's like I think specifically our Lucian Nami combo in the bot lane is very insane. So I just know like Yon's a very good Lucian, and he'll always be like, hey, if they pick X character, I can take Lucian bot lane here in this matchup, and so on. So it's always something in draft. And then I know he's a really great Lucian player, so I always come to him for tips. And I was just like, since there's a lot of ADCs in mid lane matchup right now, I always talk to Jan. I'll go, Jan, what do you think about this? Then I'll show him like the early lane phase. And I'd be like, oh no, you're fucking up so much here. Like here you should like click this and you go auto space here and then like you have pressure. Like, yeah.
So previously you had Piosik and now you have UmTi. So you basically swapped LZK jungler for LZK jungler.
Mhm.
So what has it been like playing with UmTi? Because it feels like this team has unlocked not only a new floor, but I feel like a new ceiling as well. What has it been like playing with UmTi specifically?
I mean, great. Like just as a person, he's a very like joyful, like brings the room up person to be around. And then like as a teammate, he's like just has a very solid game plan always. Like even in the last game and like the grub timing, we kind of fucked up the grub timing. I blame Impact. He's a noob for that.
Yeah.
But like I like he told me we were fighting grubs like a minute before, so I'm like slow pushing mid wave in, and then I rotate up on the right timer, and we just messed up a little bit on the top lane 2v2 while I'm rotating. So that's why the grub fight ended up being poorly. But just like small things like that where we have such a detailed plan where all I have to do is just like open my ears and click my buttons a little bit. I don't even have to think.
So would you say then he's like the main shot caller, or I mean, is Core Impact like who do you think is like the most vocal player on the team?
Uh, Him in the early game for sure. He's like very clearly like lays out plans what he's gonna do, what he thinks enemy jungler is gonna do, and then he'll like obviously listen to the laners. Like ball lane has probably like maybe we can dive ball or something. But then as the game goes on, Core will start to take over shot calling, and he'll be like our tempo warden, like
Mhm.
tempo guys. We have to play for tempo here, and then Core will be like, we're gonna play top side here, and then once we know where we're playing, then I'll talk with Impact. Impact, I can probably beat this guy in side lane. I can go top, or I lose this guy. Maybe you go top. So it's not like it depends on the stage of the game
Mhm.
for who's shot calling, but it's also just everyone's feeding each other information, so we all make the best plan, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys have like basically every box check. Like there's someone
Yeah.
for early game, mid game, late game. So you guys have now consistently demonstrated on more occasion than one that at worst you guys are the second best team in the West, only behind I guess like G2. So how big would you say the gap is between you and G2 realistically?
Um, I don't know. I think like every time we scrims them, they're pretty good in scrims to be honest with you. But we've seen like their posts where they're dunking on like even like Genji or T1 and all like the other good Eastern teams in scrims. So maybe they're just like scrim over performers. But I'm not too worried about EU this year. I think top 2 or top 3 NA teams are better than just EU as a whole right now. So yeah, I'm not really worried about EU.
So it feels like your first international was obviously Worlds last year, and there was so much like I guess talk, criticism, and then obviously after MSI, after EWC, it feels like you've developed, the whole team has developed. So what were like some like the takeaways from your very first international?
Well, it's hard to get a lot of takeaways because that's kind of bad. So I just got shit on too hard, to be completely honest with you. So I think, like, honestly, the bigger takeaways was less from playing the competitive games. It was more so just playing Korean solo queue because I can actually keep up the solo queue players over there. But, you know, when I'm facing, like, Faker or Palafox at the time, just completely shitting on me.
I've never heard Faker and Palafox in the same sentence. That's quite the sentence.
So, like, my Worlds, I didn't learn the most from competitive experience, especially considering how the team was run, being, like, the Korean-speaking team. So yeah, but going into like spring split, like I still consider like this spring my like rookie split, even though I'm not like
it's like your first full split.
Yeah, eligible to be like a rookie of the year or whatever. Like I still consider it rookie, and then like I think just going from MSI, like I just picked up so much. Like I improved a lot from playing against Cream and Caps and Faker and like Chovy and just all like the goats.
So early on in the split, I believe it was like week 2 or 3, you ranked all the mid laners and you had Quad in C tier. Now, he looked pretty good today, and we're about 2 weeks from the end of the split. Do you feel like he's better than a C right now? Like, do you change your ranking on him, or would you still?
I would change the ranking. I think we scrimmed him a few times. I think the reason I put him so low was because he faced me in the first week. I thought he was pretty dog shit. So, but I think he just had a very terrible showing, to be honest. I don't know if it was like stage jitters or like just new to the team or whatever it was. I just think he had a very bad showing, and we hadn't really scrimmed him beforehand. So that's why I rated him so lowly. But now I think he did well versus Quid today. He's done well in the past. I think I just want to see what he does versus JoJo, because I think JoJo is also a very solid mid laner. But I'd definitely move him up from C. He's solid like A tier. Yep. Maybe if he does very well versus JoJo in week 7, I think they face.
I believe so, yeah.
I think they face each other in week 7. Yeah. You know, maybe he can like shit on JoJo, be bumped up to S tier in that list.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, knock on wood, you guys will most likely be going to Worlds, barring a, you know, meltdown. The one team, I feel like, that has had your number internationally was T1. So do you feel like they're kind of the gatekeepers for you to consider yourself like, or to consider TL a good team internationally? Or do you feel like TL should already be like getting the respect of teams internationally?
I think both can be true. Like, I think we, at least at MSI, we did well in scrims versus Eastern teams. And I think we did okay at MSI, not versus Top Esports, but versus T1, to like at least garner like a little bit of respect, where you actually have to like think out like proper draft plans and stuff and like proper game plans to, or else you might lose to us. But I do think T1 is like just a very good gatekeeper, because not only are they just like a good team, they're also just 5 very individually good players, and at any point one of them can just completely shut on the other. So like I don't want to like coin the term they're a gatekeeper, because you know they're still the current world champions.
I mean, yeah, they're like a contender if anything.
Yeah, but like at least for the Western teams, they're very much a gatekeeper, where like they can just randomly shit on you. The game's just like randomly over from like jungle shitting on UmTi, or like me shitting on, or Faker shitting on me, or like whoever.